Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good afternoon to everyone. Salam Ramadan. And it's great to have everyone here today. And today we are having one of the what I call best days of our international Halal conference. And today we have three great speakers, which is with me right now, who are well known for their exemplary work, well known for their elements of creating the element of what we believe impact towards the halal economy and halal ecosystem. So I have here three great speakers, which I believe have got the best of team lined up. Yeah. And myself, my name is Norsaidatul Akmar Mazelan. I am today the MC for the day and also the moderator for the panel discussion. Now, the three speakers which we have lined up today, the first speaker is Dr. Billy Tang. He is the founder, the CEO of the for the PWD Smart Family, and who has been well known in Malaysia for winning many awards on the regenerative learning, on agro farming, on the innovation of saving the earth, yeah, and with the true sense of how it takes good humanitarian to lift out the life of the inclusive group, and how the community that is embracing the benefits of sustainability can also start to look at the vision which Dr. Billy Tang has already what I call developed. Now, the second speaker will be from Professor Dr. Faridah Hassan, the president of World Academy of Islamic sorry again. Professor Dr. Faridah Hassan, president of World Academy of Islamic Management. So she will become our second speaker after Dr. Billy. And the third speaker itself is Dr. Ziad Amjad Aghwan, the director of Halalan Thayyiban Research Center from Universiti Islam Sultan Sharif Ali, Brunei Darussalam. So this has been a great honor for such great speakers, very talented, very much the people who are driving the true vision of today's conference on the International Halal Conference. Now, without further ado, let me call upon Dr. Billy Tang, one of the renowned founder who has definitely saved a lot of lives, saved a lot of trees, saved a lot of economy for many people. I know he has a lot of good things to tell. What is PWD? What is smart family? And many things which I believe a lot of us have not heard before. So over to you, Dr. Billy.
Thank you so much. Salam Karim to everyone. And thank you for the opportunity to share about our works and our struggles and how we pivoted and overcome to be inclusive and connect back to society with our own agri-innovation. My name is Dr. Billy Tang Singh. Met with an accident 8 years ago that rendered me paralyzed waist down. And how do I rise up from the ashes of defeat and get back into my life works, my hope and my dreams? It was very difficult, trust me. But as I'm an adopted child of Dewan Perdagangan Islam Malaysia, they always remind me that if the Almighty does not love, He does not test you and prepare you for greater things to come. And with this hope and faith that we human need, and of course Samaritans that come along, during the most difficult time during the pandemic, I innovated three world first innovation that I decentralized the food chain to the poor people, arming them with the ability to feed themselves continuously, whereby I string down a greenhouse into a box and I did a soil microbiology And inside that box, there are spinaches of varieties of spinaches, and that could explain why we need to save this planet. So no one understand what is climate change, and no one understand carbon that we have to reduce in the atmosphere to save this planet after a very trying moments of lockdown. And it was during this lockdown, in every crisis, we have an opportunity for the disabled community. So I fed 7,000 over families through this innovation, and none has eaten less than 1 year and is still regenerative, and the longest greenhouse box that brought into this household as a talking piece that their children will have to explain the nitrogen cycle and the photosynthesis cycle and the protein cycle, that our schools in Malaysia, they do pass this question and they get distinction and A. They couldn't even explain the photosynthesis cycle. When we lose biology, we lose ourselves and we lose saving this planet. So I came out with a narrative. Is your farming method climate action? Are you a climate change hero in what you do in your individual lives, or are you a climate action hero? So I brought down a very, very dummy proof that no agriculture required, no knowledge of farming required, but you got live vegetable, unrefrigerated, sitting in your home, saving each family 60 ringgit to 80 ringgit a month. That's the first innovation. The second innovation, it's, you can see in my background, this is what we call a solution aquaponic satellite farm. I think a lot of us know that how the fish, the excrete will fertilize the plants and all that, but how do we make up combining soy and soilless into one system? I have done a research on soilless, and it's not it's a biological warfare. We do not know what goes into the water, but God is great. He created us from the earth, and our DNA is soil, and our body is water. So what makes us think by putting synthetic into soil and grow food that we can be healthy and we can have our immune health, because our DNA, original DNA, when we were created from a lump of clay, which is healthy. So today, after World War II, up to our generation, we have destroyed and we have caused this earth such a mess that now we have to restore faith in humanity and how we could come together and collaborate and save this planet for the next generation. So with that, I combine soil and soilless into one system, and the video will be played afterward. And I brought back organic vegetable forest into urban city. You can play the video right now. Are we good with the video? Or I keep talking first? Yes. Very good.
Dr. Billy, your forest city, is it in Johor?
No, it's in Subang Jaya.
Okay.
It's in Subang Jaya. And you won't believe, this is a greenhouse in a house. I don't have a land. And this is a house that Dewan Perdagangan Islam Malaysia adopted me. And for 5 years, I've been here. They have been my biggest pillar of strength. I hope we can play this video, because there's so much of idea about urban farm. Okay, tilapia global feeds. No sound. So you can see the boxes there in front of the house. That is the first innovation, that we deploy these greenhouse boxes into marginalized groups, single mother, disabled community, and Kafi school, surau, all have benefit out of this innovation, and it's still regenerative. And this 60-liter box with 200 over live plants put in your home without you being a farmer. Nobody will grow a live plant, put in your home without you being a farmer, and you just can forage and it will regenerate. You can see this is the forest. These towers become organic forest spinaches. So if you're very, very poor, based on your health pyramid of your country, in my country, you cannot deprive the poor to access nutritious food for at least 31 grams of nutrient-dense vegetable spinaches for consumption. And this is a human right. Nutrition should not be a luxury. It should be a human right. So with halal and Sharia coming in place, the purity of food, the nutritious of food, the nutrition can save a nation. If not, the poor will choke up the healthcare system when the next disease X comes into lockdown. So I place high hope on the understanding of halal and Sharia that brings the purity and of real food come on the basis of our DNA come from healthy soil. So we should not put synthetic or should not put any pesticide, herbicide, insecticide, and thinking that we can grow food to bring back our immune health. There's no way. So only Sharia compliant food could bring an understanding on how nutrition can save a nation. Yes. So I'm so sorry we could not play the video yet, but I'll keep talking. So what happened is that our longest box even deployed this first innovation of this greenhouse box. We have deployed to even hospitals. Hospitals after the COVID, they all have mental health. Frontliners need space to digest what they've just gone through for the past 3 years. So they mooted this program with Universiti Medical Center. In Malay, we call it PPUM. And we started this program 3 years ago. Today, it is 27 months, coming to 3 years and still counting through regenerative agriculture and regenerating soil. So by seeing healthy soil will bring about healthy plants. Healthy plants will bring about healthy people. Healthy people, then only the nations can be wealthy. So where did we went wrong? Where did we so induce with all the IR and IoT? And we know statistics have shown that 96% is still, the economy is still driven by fossil fuel. What makes us think the green initiative has brought us closer? It has not. So we have to wake up, you know, and not being pulled by narratives and advertising that in reality on the ground is not. But I'm just a social enterprise. I'm not the government. So, but in this crisis where all nations are deliberating in their agriculture policy, this is where we are ending hunger today. We are ending hunger with our innovation. We are ending malnutrition, stunted children. You know, we are doing all that right now. And we have big dreams, but we are implementing in small ways that adds up. Just to add in, during the pandemic, I started 20 welfare homes. Today, they are food secure for their local procurement first. If your family cannot survive, how can we go to community and how can we restore nation? So first, the family must be food secure, and not just food secure, must choose the right food, because micronutrient deficiency in our food chain is not talked about. We got no more genius to come with highly processed food. And as you can see, then you're adding into my disabled statistic. There'll be more of slow learning, autism, which research have shown, the correlation of our diet. Because beneath the ground is all the microorganisms that's synonym with our microbiome gut. What makes us think that we eat chemical food, that our microbiome gut, our 9-meter gut can secrete serotonin, melatonin, and all the phytochemical back to our brain? It's impossible. If we lose biology, we lose ourselves and we lose everything. And humanity is degraded to annihilate our own kind, which the animal kingdom doesn't do. The cats doesn't do, the dogs doesn't do. But human, the more we progress, the more we think we have right to annihilate our own species. That is absurd. And while we are trying to save the earth, people are bombing Gaza, Sudan, Myanmar. Has anybody calculate the chemicals they're releasing back to the atmosphere? And they have to pay because the poor did not contribute to climate change. The marginalized people did not contribute to climate change. So this is where we need a strong force of values that to restore faith in humanity. And you don't see in all these wars anybody pushing out a disabled. You mean Ukraine got no wheelchair-bound people? So where are my disabled people in this war? We are the most marginalized. We need to humanize the disabled of the globe. And it is part of the SDG and Vision Disability 2030. We are always out of the loop when they say no one left behind, zero reject policy. To us, we are rejected. We are still not inclusive. So now we bring to the table our very own innovation. While nations are still deliberating their policies, we have converted our fishes to real protein. The world is in search of protein, and human survival is from protein with phytochemical, that only sun energy can do. What makes us think that put LED to trick the plant, speed to market, shrink the juvenile period, reduce it and drive ROI. And we are just tricking the somata of the plant. And there is no micronutrient and nutrient-dense vegetable. If I do not let you sleep for 16 days, you will go bizarre. Now we don't let the plant to sleep where God created day and night. In the night, they have to convert their nitrate protein into amino acid. Where is our science? Where is our biology? We lose it. We lose our human existence. So this is a wake-up call. And I'm so glad that Halal and Sharia can bring a new narrative, that we need the purity of food for human race. There's no compromise. And there's so much of GMO, lab meat protein grow in bioreactor. We don't know what they add. There's a gray area, and plant-based, yes. But what is the base material is still GMO. Today, Bill Gates is a known secret. He has put mRNA spike protein into GMO seed. So what do we do? So as a disabled community, this is what we can do for nations. So we convert our organic produce into real protein in a form of ice cream and cookies. This is where you are. Yeah, I think we go through the slides. Yeah, protein for sustainable living. Scaling up nutrition is United Nations because the United Nations Nutrition Ambassador is a strategic partner to substantiate our social economic inclusion business model as an engine growth of countries. So this is with Tilapia Global Feeds. The narrative of FIITS Feeds is food insecurity, inclusivity towards sustainability. Can you flip to the next one, please? Yes, protein. This is where you are. How much protein is enough? So these are the statistics. Protein requirement. Protein is made up of what? Amino acids. And it's the only nutrient that we can repair. Our bones, our muscles, our tissues, our hair. That's why we go for knee replacement, because in our food chain, as we age, there's lesser and lesser real proteins. It's all highly processed food. And we're eating vegetable in the form of water. There's no micronutrients because it's an input cost. And the capitalists, I got nothing against them, but they did not put any micronutrient. And worse, they're all farming to just shrink the juvenile period and speed to market. So next, please. Yeah. So this is the problem statement. So so this is a solution that we have: protein in the form of ice cream and cookies. So this is not our technology; it's a taxpayer technology funded by a 110-year-old university from the Philippines. We can show you. Next slide, please. Okay, this is a joint venture we have signed with Central Luzon State University. Why Philippines? Because before my accidents, to be honest, I gave up Malaysia. All right, because being a researcher is hero or zero. You can never imagine that our IP, our intellectual property, is converted into a tender and given somebody else to do. I gave up. So I went to Philippines. I empower the prisoners with agriculture skill. I feed the poor in the streets to show a proof of concept that agriculture can elevate poverty if we do it rightly. So this is where, when I met with an accident, the president office through the DFA reached out to me and said, Billy, how can we help you back? I said, I need a credible university, agriculture university. And they gave me Central Luzon State University, which is a signage city of the nation, and funded the research on goat's milk for our ice cream. And it found to be creamier, more protein, and got omega. Women got omega. Awet muda, get younger, and there's so much goodness in goat farming, and the marginalized small farmers can do that for our food security. So if we are allowed to do this ice cream and cookies in Malaysia, we are driving two-engine growth, which is fish farming, smallholder, which we have decentralized welfare homes, and also special needs school in Malaysia. I've started 17 this year, and I'm empowering my disabled peers in the school with Dr. No's program, Faridah, School of Entrepreneurship. So we have hope because we are bringing all this innovation to academic grassroots, add value to education, and discover back our existence, the phenomenon of science. So this is an agreement we signed, and we get a spin-off company from the university. I funded the goat's milk research, and we have got all the data. Next, please. Yeah. We are not starting by scratch. You can see we're getting all the disabled involved. I'm also a panelist for the World Bank, and also the just did on economics in all the university in Malaysia, where Professor Dr. Jomo was a fellow panelist together with me, with Professor Fatima as well, moderated by World Bank. And he said, Professor Jomo made one statement and said, this country got no time for food security. That wakes me up. In every crisis, there's an opportunity. I'm redeeming the time. I'm taking the opportunity to empower all the poor, all my disabled people with this innovation that's so dummy-proof, and they can have their own, our very own economic model moving forward. Yes. So next, please. So two-engine growth of the country, if we were to do this, and of course, we have won Cell Innovation Award in 2019. We also won the ECO Research and Management Award. We bested among 24 countries, 350 participants. We got the gold medal. And does it make any inroad? No. Until today, I went to see and manufacture the product based on the TRL, NASA, TRL. We are in Malaysia, we can say TRL 5 market acceptance, and towards TRL 9 commercialization. But after producing the produce with goat's milk and went to the science ministry, and also participate in a public audition of innovation in Malaysia, which outsourced to Astro as a live show, and 1,033 people went for audition, and they only select 56, and I am top 56 among the top 56. So I'm entitled to have them cradle me as a social enterprise to globalization and commercialization and bringing FDI to the country, you know, and but that does not happen to date. I hope, you know, it can happen in the near soon. If not, we will have to find somewhere else in Africa. Their small farmers are doing good. The Kenya ambassador has come into our farm 2 times. It's just we have just got asking us to sign a transfer technology agreement with them, so we are able to license out, okay, to any country we go. We will drive 2-engine growth: goat farming and fish farming. And we close the loop, and vegetable becomes the bonus, and the poor can be fed, and that's how it goes. And let's have the last slide. Do I have the last slide, or this is the last slides? This is the last slides, I assume. Okay, so yes, so goat's milk and tilapia fish is new engine growth of any country that we have patented the processes, and of course goat's milk is our very own IP in Malaysia, because I funded the research on goat's milk. Before that, they were using buffalo milk. I realized that I couldn't get buffalo in this country, so I said goat's milk is perfect. I don't want to hit on nerve on cattle farming, you know, and goat's milk is fine. Goat farming is in the Quran. The prophets of old and as directed us that yeah, the sheep and the goat, you know, are cohesive with human race, you know. So with this, and I'm really looking forward that with listeners out there, you know, and the good news is we just got our foundation approved. We have got a foundation now, and we really look for strategic partners that we could bring this quickly so that the nations can access to real protein. Now with innovation in urban city, we can put it in vending machines. We don't have to sell ice cream and cookies. We just have to get people to subsidize 1% of the GDP as their ESG with SDG. By the way, I'm one of the pioneer ESG awardee under USM, Penang Green Council, and endorsed by our governor of Penang. Yes, I am the pioneer ESG. I substantiated ESG with SDG through our innovation for PPP Group Berhad, where the majority shareholder is Tan Sri Robert Koch, which is everybody knows, you know, he's the sugar king, and is richest in on palm oil and cinemas that you frequent. Yeah, we substantiate. This is the 3rd year. They are sponsoring me 15 PPKI schools, that means special needs school, that I will empower them to be the community food and health. Firstly, to farm for the poor people. Imagine if you have got someone that you know that went to chemotherapy, when he come out, you know, killing all the cells of good and bad, and go back to what food? Go back to chemical food. So here, our disabled community can shine. Come to us. Well, come to us. If you have money, you have choices. You eat until you are sick and you realize that you're eating highly processed foods, then only you come to us. So for the rest, I rest my case, and I'm so glad that Halal and Sharia should come out new narrative that is so friendly to the world, and that bring us our senses that we come from the earth, and we have to be the protector of the earth, and individually we realize that we are part of the earth, that we cannot drive GDP at the expense of the poor and the environment. So therefore it's a human right. Wherever position you are sitting, you are accountable, and I'm accountable with whatever wisdom and a gift that is bestowed upon me is not to be not for me, but for me to disseminate it, that the world can become a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Billy. Wow, I must give yourself a big applaud for such a, I would say it's beyond words, right? Because it takes a person who has got the ability to bring the ecosystem to you. Now, that is what halal is all about. When people talk about halal, it's not about the process. But when people talk about the ecosystem, the halal covers the whole ecosystem.
Yes.
So I believe you have hit the nail, hit the punchline in terms of leadership in halal is not the process. It's where you bring the humanitarian values, you bring the people who have been sidelined, you bring the economy which has been left out, you bring back the economy to people who can be the role player and do not sideline anyone, even they are from the inclusive group. So this is where I think you shined, and that's where I know from the last 2 years that I know you, everybody it's being feeling they are very selfish, while you have selflessly in your own condition helped to solve a lot of the food security problem, the inclusive problems, giving them the rights to earn their own income in the manner that you give them a solution, whether it's a solution, a regenerative learning, that is itself have got its Halalan Thayyiban objective. All right. So thank you, Dr. Billy. We will have you back during the panel discussion. Yes. So not to go away, okay? But now sure. We're going to bring another speaker. Well, this speaker, of course, it's very well known in terms of its in terms of the person itself, right? So I'm going to open up his profile in a short while. Hold on. Okay, so Professor Dr. Faridah Haji Hassan, President of World Academy of Islamic Management, and also the founder of iHalal Management and Science, which is iHalal Mas from Universiti Technology Mara. And of course, she was the Director of Institute Business Excellence of UITM, heading the research consultancy. And she, of course, has got the fact that from the education point of view, has got many other positions that she holds as a board of director and also as part of the investment panel advisor for PMB, the public listed company, and also many other trust fund. So, I mean, basically a person who is highly capable to handle issues of what she has put up today, the halal supply chain sustainability and operations framework, something that is very much, I think, at the heart of the halal itself is the supply chain and the operation framework. So over to you, Professor Dr. Faridah.
Thank you very much, Dr. NorSaidatul. Can you see my slide?
Yes, thank you.
Alhamdulillah. First of all, I think Dr. Billy Tang, he disappeared. I wanted to actually compliment his presentation. I was really amazed. And oh, you're there. Good. And seriously,
I'm around.
Yeah.
I didn't disappear.
Yeah, and seriously, we hope we can visit your Forest City in Subanjaya. And
Yes.
And also, but I wouldn't dare to try your tilapia ice cream because I could sense that it is fishy. So I wouldn't want ice cream with a fishy taste, but yet to discover. Anyway, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Dr. NorSaidatul, for introducing me. And yes, today I'll be presenting on halal supply chain sustainability and also highlighting on the operations network that's been developed by my team. These are my co-researchers, Kamaro, Rifan, and Adila. And normally in different conferences, I always like to share the latest that my team of researchers discover, and I hope it does give benefit or give a takeaway to whoever the listeners are. So this is the presentation outline, just a normal one, with the LR, literature review, and also discussion analysis, and one part of SWOT analysis or TOES that you can take away for those who are interested to extend this research. So a little bit on the what do you call that, definition, which I do not want to go through very detailed. We are talking about halal, which is permissible in the Islamic lifestyle, and more so, Dr. Danny mentioned about Dr. Billy mentioned about food, and a lot of the everyday life we are handling about the food consumption. So we are not talking only about Muslim, but we are talking about the ummah, any human mankind, which is related to consuming a lot of food around the world. Now we talk about the concept that actually transcended from the religious tenets, and it permeated various business domains. Now that's where it started to become a problem or issues, because as we know, like what just quoting what Dr. Billy mentioned, a lot of our food are actually highly processed, and when it is highly processed, it becomes so sophisticated that the consumers themselves do not know what are the ingredients, what are the process that can be contaminated, okay? Not contaminated by the ingredient, but also contaminated by our actions. So that's the worry that I'm bringing it to you today under the halal supply chain. So back to the food just now, we are looking into the aspects of hygiene, the GMP, the sustainable production, that it will last forever as far as possible, environmental concern like ESG, like Dr. Billy was highlighting, food safety right now, food security right now, and most importantly, quality food that everyone can consume. All right, we have about 2 billion Muslim population that we have to take care of, and another, I would say, 6 billion, almost 6 billion ummah, or I say to get the total population of the world, almost 8 billion altogether. Yeah, so we are not only taking care of the Muslims over here when it comes to food item. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So when we talk about sustainability, just a minute, let me push some of my blocking, what do you call this? Yeah, I can't. But anyway, when we talk about sustainability, we are looking into focusing, those people like the those who are poor, who are hungry, and then we are looking into the health and climate changes that brings in the shift towards sustainable food system, which is very pertinent and becoming very important right now, as compared to our forefathers who always has fresh food on the table. So we look into the scholars that stresses on the links among halal food and sustainability, innovation and technology. And I'm sure a lot of us are very familiar right now with a traceability system. Okay, traceability helps in looking into the ethics and also into the integrity of the processing halal supply chain. So we look into the production, which can be an effective vehicle to promote SDG in farming and agriculture. And I'm glad Dr. Billy highlighted on the Sharia compliance just now in his business. And because we are also concerned about the environmental standards that go hand in hand with meeting of other sets of production standards as a requirement. So the halal relation with sustainable development goals looks into, sorry, I think I'm repeating that. The next one, okay. The SDG that we are familiar with, there are 17, but as far as my paper is concerned, my research is concerned, we are looking into number 9, the infrastructure, number 12, the responsibility of the consumption and production, and finally 17 on the partnership for the goals, because we cannot be doing this business alone. You need, along the halal supply chain, many parties to be ethical about doing the business. So this is the world population, Muslim population, as most of you are aware. there are almost 2 billion resides over here, but they're all scattered from east to west, right? And we look into the consumer opportunity under GIE, Global Islamic Economy. Halal food is the major contributor compared to the others, all right? And I think Dr. Zaid will be highlighting on the modest fashion afterwards. So during the COVID times pandemic, modest fashion did not go wrong. People still buy because they couldn't travel. They look into other opportunities of business, and media and recreation became the third one. So, but right now in 2024, Muslim-friendly travel and halal or Islamic tourism is picking up very well. Okay, let's move on. So these are the halal market importer and exporter, and you can see the focus in millions of USD everywhere over here. You can take this, what do you call that, slide for you to explore if you are interested to do business worldwide. And when we talk about the halal supply chain management, we are also focusing on the activities such as procurement, the movement, the storage, and the handling of products through the organization. And it must be accordance with general principles of Sharia law. It so happened, Timan, my first halal supply chain student from UITM, did a book and a lot of papers published on this. I think you should refer to him if you need to know more about what has been discovered in the studies. Okay, let me just move a little bit of this slide. Okay, so you can see more of it now. And other than that, okay, the halal supply chain, there are areas that needs to be focused. My slide slightly, okay, I have to arrange that. Okay, in terms of procurement, you're looking into how to protect the integrity along the supply chain. In terms of manufacturing, you're looking into the ingredients. In terms of the distribution, we also look into the packaging and halal containers. Do you all still remember about the meat cartel problem issue right before pandemic? That's where it goes wrong. Ethics as well as integrity plays a big concern over here. It was really a halal Jakim certified when it was being, I would say, produced or manufactured or processed. But as it goes along the line, the packaging and distributors, there was some I would say mismanagement. That's where the halal packaging and halal containers plays a role over here, because they change and repack and also redistribute it. And finally, under the logistic, the movement and coordination of halal supply and also demand in the formation of time and place utility is important, because you need to deliver at the right time and also at the right place. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Here we look at the activities. So in details, you can see, I'm just going to mention a few. Yeah, you can read all this. When it comes to procurement, you touch base on the selection, labeling, and relationship, logistic on segregation. And then if we look more into the manufacturing, we are looking into commitment. And this is where I did mention in my first meeting, or I would say as a panelist, yeah, Dr. Norsaidatul, about commitment and trust, because trust is very important amongst the parties involved. Then we go into certification, we look into the compliance, and finally under distribution, we look into the packaging as well as the containers involved. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so over here, you can see the management itself from farm to fork principle, or some use as farm to finger, or whatever they want to, synonym with it. So we look from the study. I think Dr. Billy would understand this, or would be practicing this very much. The process from the ranch to abattoir to the certification, packaging, freezing to lab test. And then if they are going for international waters or international marketing, the samak container is needed. The pot as well as a few others over here would be, just a minute, I need to move my slides left and right, sorry. Other than that, yeah, the custom quarantine, the importer, and finally to the restaurants and to the hotels. And then next, we are looking into the framework itself. Okay, the concept model of halal supply work halal supply chain management starts from the inbound to the production phases until outbound. Okay, so these are all the supply of goods from the farm to fork. Now, other than that, we are looking into the security, the Thayyiban, as well as transparency. So what is most important over here is to look like the specialized institution that is affiliated with the OIC. All right, and we are looking into the safety of halal food and development, like from genes to fork, like what the DNA mentioned by Dr. Billy just now. That is very important, okay? And it also looks into the linkages between the sustainable practices, and you have to look into the Thayyiban code of practice, okay? That it is healthy, is wholesome, is hygienic, and is safe and secure to eat, yeah, to consume. And of late, we are looking into blockchain technology. In Malaysia, Dr. Norsaadah, this morning we have an MDEC meeting on how they can play a bigger role under the blockchain technology. So I'm happy on that, because when MDEC comes into play, then we are more serious with how we handle our digitalization. So as you can see over here, until 2026, the food market size is growing up to 9.33 billion. Okay, and you can see that the players are fragmented, but there is 100% growth that will originate from US, and they are the key drivers. Okay, a symbol of healthy food, because they campaign on this a lot. And so we are happy that they're taking a big part in terms of campaigning on the food security. Even in Latin America, they do research until 2027 on halal food and beverage market. And you can read this, as you know, for the Muslims, Brazil is the biggest, I would say, exporter of halal poultry. So that's why they become very important in the market, yeah, in the global market. So South America, halal food and beverages market size and share analysis, they have forecasted until 2028. All right, and the major players at the moment are Nestle, Maricota, and a few others here. So you can see that the growth rate is about 3.1% annually. And these are the annual turnover in Europe, for example, in France. But what I wanted to highlight over here, which is the current concern in the technology operation, is the halal blockchain. Everybody is claiming that they're into blockchain, but they actually do not understand what it takes to be in the blockchain industry and business, because the traceability of each item from the farm till the retail store is very important to detect who is the culprit if they make any mistakes in the distribution. Okay. Now, other things that I would like to share over here. Okay, I can skip this on how we collect the data, but some of the studies made would be like in Malaysia, the factors affecting sustainability of halal product performance. And in other countries, we have over here like logistic in non-Muslim dominant environment, a process of re-engineering. This was in Germany. And other than that, we have one in India, examining the link between halal supply chain and management and sustainability. Okay, the rest of it you can take a look and also refer to the study if you want to know more. This one is in Indonesia on the MSME, which is on micro, small, and medium enterprise. And as you know, Indonesia is very aggressive right now in looking into the halal activities. Okay, it becomes a national agenda. So this is again in Malaysia on the designing of halal supply chain. In UK itself, you're looking into the greater understanding, because there's a lot of illegal activities in the UK halal sheep sector, yeah, supply chain. And these are critical success factors. And other than that would be issues and challenges. And yeah, the rest of it are in Malaysia. So I will just share with you on the SWOT and TOS analysis, where if you want to look at it, how it's being, how do I say, extracted, you can take this slide and study it. But in recommendation and conclusion out of the TOS analysis, what we found is that number one, there are strategies forward in halal supply chain that needs to be emphasized. Secondly, you must be responsible and ethical in knowing the outlets that between the buyer and supplier at every point. Number three, you look into the consistent support of financial institution. Number four, you must have knowledgeable human capital, especially in Sharia compliance. Number five, look into the formulation and execution of halal food security. Number seven would be the blockchain to promote traceability and transparency. And finally, number six would look into the verification process. So right now we have all the QR code playing very actively, whether in Malaysia, Thailand, China, importantly. And I think this is the way forward, and we cannot, be ousted in this area, because you need to be in the know-how in using the application. So the strategies forward would be, number one, sustaining halal food security ecosystem that necessitate a harmonious and collaborative effort by relevant stakeholders. I felt bad for Billy, because he did mention that he did not get the support in Malaysia. But please remember, the business is a global business, so we can get some other support from other parts of the world. And I'm glad Dr. Ziyad is here today. Brunei may even look into this, because Brunei is looking into the Borneo link right now. That is one way, where the Borneo link, whether by road or by means of, shipping, can really expedite that part of the area, in terms of halal sustainability and also supply chain. Now, in terms of other areas, like being ethical about it, you have to be sustain halal integrity, adhering and conforming to the halal practice and standards. And in terms of knowledgeable human capital, we need to have more skilled and knowledgeable halal food and understanding of applications in the business. If possible, they are graduates in Sharia. And I know Dr. Zaid comes from the Center of Halal in Brunei, from the university. So I'm sure they are producing more Sharia compliance graduates. And finally, traceability, we look into increasing of integrity. So as I've mentioned to you just now, QR code detect where it stops, where it, who is handling it. And I think that is very important in the current situation, as much as we are going into the global market. So we need to do the tracking. Finally, in the vast global market and food business, we need to reduce waste. We have to emphasize on waste efficiency as a main strength, meaning we minimize a lot of wastage. And such efforts may inhibit the existing trust issues and the lack of international halal certification bodies in the halal food business, because at the moment we are quite regional in certification bodies. Everybody are very territorial, but if we can have more incorporation between regions and continents of halal certification bodies, we can go very far. And the findings suggest that sustainable development goals are driven and rooted into the halal ecosystem. So with that, Dr. Norsaidatul, I rest my case. I think that's all that I need to share for today. And I share with you also the references if any of the researchers would like to carry on with, postgrad studies from my paper. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Faridah. Well, that's an exhaustive amount of research that you have done. And, it is, as I say, it's a huge research coming from various aspects of the components of the ecosystem, right? As you can see, it's from A to Z. So if someone was to learn something from A to Z, it takes more than just what I call an element of knowing about the process alone. It's all about how do you look at the whole development of halal, and to what extent it has brought into the real prosperity of that halal economy. So I believe a lot of people have benefited from the journey of developing their halal roadmap, be it from the initial state of getting the halal certification, but somehow along the way there's always the meaning of greediness. And people start to change the real purpose of that halal certification, because they probably have got wrong partners, and they have got now a different angle of where they believe they make use of the halal for a different set of objectives. So somehow there is a derailment to the true sense of what halal is all about. So I think that we will bring about later on in our discussion something to to dwell with. But before that, before we bring to that panel discussion, I'll bring the last speaker, and the last speaker has been waiting patiently. All right, from hearing from Dr. Billy, from Professor Dr. Faridah. Now we're going to come to the third speaker, which is Dr. Amjad Aghwan, the director of Halal Thayyiban Research Center from the Universiti Islam Sultan Sharif Ali, Brunei Darussalam. I know that your topic is itself very interesting. You're talking about fashion, all right? And this is again something which is it's an economy by itself, fashion. So people talk about not buying anymore from the production of products or goods or clothes that has been already been made, but now you have to go for retrading because you want to save the planet when it comes to the production of fashion. So I'm sure these are some of the things that's coming at the back of my mind. But before that, I know your discussion is, or your presentation is on the implementation of halal fashion and beauty globalization. And the case is on the DUCK group, DUCK group. So I wouldn't want to waste any more time. Over to you, Dr. Ziad.
Thank you very much, Dr. NorSaidatul, for your nice introduction. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. And very good afternoon, dear colleagues in this small gathering, but it means a lot for me. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد الصادق الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Very good afternoon and Ramadan Mubarak. May Allah accept our fasting, our praying and dua, especially during the holy 10 days of the holy month of Ramadan, inshallah. So today, as I will talk about. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay, so actually today this gathering, it is a small gathering, but I think it is represent of the three pillars of halal industry: halal food, halal non-food, and halal services. So our product and with Dr. Billy product, so the nerve and the bridge for transportation, for distribute of our product should be by the group of Prof. Faridah. So Alhamdulillah, today we cover the three main pillar of halal industry. Okay, actually this idea of this paper, first of all, I want to introduce myself, maybe because I'm not from Malaysia. I am originally from Iraq. Although I worked in Malaysia 11 years, I got my PhD from UPM and also work in Halal Product Research Institute, UPM, and then joined to University Islam Sultan Sharif Ali. And I am the deputy director, not the director, not yet director. I am the deputy director of this center. Our center, the title of our center is center, but we inject to Bruneian society and to regional and international area students under degree, bachelor degree, masters, and PhD. So Alhamdulillah, within this very few years, Alhamdulillah, I think we give a good product, and we inject high quality alumni to Brunei society and also to regional, because we also accept foreigners for bachelor and undergraduate and postgraduate studies. So this idea, when I talk with my students, I always told them, no need to always focus on the governmental jobs, because there is no government in the whole world can provide job to all its citizens, so that you can go for private sector, you can do your own business. So I push them to search for one of the, let's say, people who started from zero. People who start from zero, who use their mind. So one of the group, she already choose this group, duck group, which is in Malaysia. So to choose this group in order to be, maybe I want to do this one for them, to motivate them, to show them the real experience for the people who started from zero, who depend on themselves, who depend on their capability, depend on their creativity. As we know now, Islam, the second largest religion in the world, and the most important thing is the fast growing religion. It's I think after 2050, it's Islam, inshallah, will be the first large religion in the world. And with this, once we have the marketing, so any penetration of this industry related to halal, this one definitely it will be succeeded. But this successful should be studied well, should got far vision in order to align or to settle our business and to maintain our successful. So according to, actually my presentation today related to fashion and cosmetics, which is now very high demand, I think, in the whole world, not just for, I mean the three main segments in this sector is the males, females, and the children also, because not just in Muslim society, in non-Muslim also, non-Muslim societies. So if you look to the State of Global Islamic Economy report in 2022, after as Dr. Faridah mentioned, the negative impact of COVID-19 effect on the industry in general, and in these two sectors in particular, but yet still there is a clear growing of these sectors, either in fashion or in modest fashion or in the cosmetics. So now with the current status of the people, high awareness for the communication with the social media, so the people got enough awareness to choose what quality of materials, or high quality materials to use. And this one supported by the good income, not even the increment of the disposal income. So they make them more flexible to choose more or high quality materials for their daily usage, although it is they sacrifice by some money with their health. And also with this demand, with this Muslim population, with this customers outside of Islamic religion, that means the halal industry in general, and these two sectors, fashion and cosmetics, will be really, their market is lucrative, and encourage the manufacturers, the producers to involve in this market, because the area is still fresh, so they can get good profit, but with some awareness about how they conduct their business, because the most important thing, they should make the consumers satisfied with their product in order to maintain or sustain their products. And also, you know, another factor maybe also which can push this industry forward is the competition. There is competition now. No more specific brand or specific company can control around the world about the marketability. But the one who high quality materials, meaning that is the sustainability in the market. Let us go back to the group that we use, the DAC group. We just get some background about this group from Malaysia. So Vivi Sofinas Yusuf, she was and with her husband, when they came back from UK, they finished their study in UK in 2010. Then, of course, they found that the environment in UK, we cannot say more advanced, but the technology, the opportunities there more than what have been in Malaysia at that time. Then they found that they have the capability to fill the gap in this one. So they established the e-commerce platform business known as Fashion Valet, then expanded to their business to the launching of the DUC group in 2014. Now, once I talk about halal, halal is important and globalization also is important. How to penetrate globalization? I will get the idea or their experience on how these two persons penetrate the globalization of their product, although they started from zero. So they have two methods. They follow two methods that can enable them to penetrate globalization, not just in the local or regional area, but also the whole global. So one of them is branding. So with the branding, there are some factors that may maintain the branding, because branding is very important. As we know, the brand in the world for the customers is very important. If it is well-known brand, so the customers will be purchased. When I said well-known brand, I mean high quality materials, so that first they start with their branding, their the name. So they choose the name DUC, but they change the letters. So they put small letters in the first and last the name, and then they put capital letter in between, and they use their specific color. They specify the color, no changing in the color. They maintain the color. Of course, they know which type of color was aligned to their industry. Yani cosmetics or fashion. I think purple color was from their idea when they choose the color. It was the most or the more color that may attract or consider one of the factor for maintain their branding. Also the boxes, and so they make the purple color is the main color of their brand. Okay, and also they also address the customers as doggies. Yani they respect their customers. They want to tell them that you are not just our customers. You are the one who going on with this product. So I mean, they make them as a part of the brand. Yani they make them part of the brand. So they let them feel that they are really interest. I mean, the producers interest with their customers. The second one is the product quality. They maintain always. We know that the quality defined as its ability to satisfy the customers, which need their needs and expectation. Yani, when we talk about the quality, this matter or this factor, once the specific standards for this quality or this material is satisfied the customers, so this one will make this factor make the sustainability for any product will be more sustained. Although this company, this group, they always sell their materials with very high purchasing or expensive, but because they maintain the quality. They maintain the quality. That's why they can maintain the prices. طبعا for this material, sometimes some customers, according maybe to their satisfactory or according to their purchasing capability, may satisfy or not. يعني some customers, they will look for maybe low quality, but for more cheap purchasing the cost. But in general, the logical thing that the high quality material always attract and absorb a lot of customers. The third one is style or the design. So this group, they were very clever. They communicate or collaborate with some companies like Disney, Barbie, and other one. This one, and also with the royal member of Brunei, Her Royal Highness Princess Sarah, the wife of the Crown Prince. So this collaboration have created interesting design illustrated on the scarves that keep the interest of their consumers as a peak. يعني لأنه because you know sometimes يعني in order to produce some material we need to highlight some heritage. We need to maintain some design which can align with the culture or with the religion, so that there are usually background stories inspiring the scarves. Illustration indicated that their designs are not just a design when they do the design, but instead they made out of meaningful tales. يعني, for example, one of the example, the rattan was created as a reminder to the village that the people who grow or the Malay who grow, and special tribute to their grandmothers. The fourth one is the store environment. I mean, environment, you know, the store, it depends to the culture. يعني, I am from Iraq. In Iraq, we do focus on the store environment. يعني, if the store, the arrangement of the shelves, the colors, the smell, the temperature, all these things will attract me as a customer. Another country from my friends in Yemen, he told me that they not really interest in the store environment. They do interest on the goods that the materials that they display. The store environment is not important. That's why here they know how to get the satisfactory of the customers and make them satisfied. So they create, as you see in the photo, they design their stores with very nice design and make more customers, because most probably the fashion and the cosmetics, although males also use, but females also more they use. So you know the morphology of the ladies different with the males, huh? Although some males also like to see the environment of the store, very nice, but because they are more dealing with the ladies, so the ladies always like something that can attract them in the design. That's why we can see that they maintain their stores. They have 7 stores, 6 in Malaysia and 1 in Singapore. And although also sometimes they absorb their design from some heritage or some unique design in the world. For example, one of their shops, they design the store like the Starfield Library in Korea, which is very unique design for the building. The fifth factor is the service quality. Actually, our students did interview with Miss Vivi. She said that in her company, she wanted the customer to know who are the people who are working behind the brand. يعني, of course, she herself also, she highlighted that she herself can also work because the most important thing for her to make the customer satisfied and also to monitor the process, to monitor the products, all these things. So even sometimes she checked by herself. She checked some of materials by herself, and also she believes this is one of the main attributes to obtain brand loyalty from the customers. While in the website also, a suggestion box could easily be founded for customers to drop comments. So the issue now, everything is transparency. So there is no fences between the producers and the customers. This one make the customer more satisfied, will make the customers more satisfied, and that the purchasing of the materials or the products from this group will be more. Why? Because they already open everything. Now I think, Prof. Faridah, the blockchain, they do the same thing, but in mini blockchain. Okay. So apart from that, direct chatting also with the company, they open this one by the customers for urgent matters. The second method that enable them to penetrate the globalization. So first is market penetration. So now, first we know how to do branding. Now, if we do branding but we cannot penetrate the market, so it will be useless. So they continue with their efforts to penetrate the globalization. So they want to do, they plan how to penetrate the market, because they are looking for globalization. So first one is international shipping. This one, in their website, they allow, they can produce or they can ship their materials to all around the world, not just in the regional or in the regional area, but for their activity, they come out with around more than 200 countries. They can send their materials to them. طبعا the shipping fees will vary depending on the total amount that is spent by the customers. Also in it caters Southeast Asian and Japan, Korea, Saudi Arabia, all these countries, they penetrate these countries, although these countries have very famous brands, but still they focus, because there is a lot of Muslims in that in that countries, so they know how to attract them. The second one is the principle of scarcity. They have two lines in their marketing. We call it limited edition and also basic and limited edition. So basic, it is offer for many. The offer for this product is many, while the limited edition, they have their own style to do to follow pull. Management, there is pull and push. So they use the limited edition, they use pull strategy in order to when they make it limit and the quality is high, so they will attract the audience or the customers to get or to purchase their materials. By right, this one, the pull and the push, this one have been used by first in lean management by Japan, Toyota company. But because they have idea, they study the market well, so they study all the market, the general market, so they know how to penetrate the market. The third one is how to establish community. So they have their own procedure on do communication with all, and then they use the hashtags for this one. And hashtags are seen to be functional for them on doing marketing, personal branding, socialization, or socializing between the people, and used for sharing experiences. So in conclusion, through the business model e-commerce, the DAC group is able to globalize their brand internationally through the act of branding and by penetrating the outside market instead of merely focusing on locals. So to strengthen their brand, they were focusing on 6 or 5 components, which are their brand name, product quality, style, store environment, and services. While for penetrating the bigger market was focusing on the international shipping and scarcity, practice of scarcity principle, and the community building within the brand. Thank you very much for your listening. وبالله التوفيق والهداية والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
Thank you, Dr. Ziad, for the wonderful presentation of a case, which is the dark group. Now, this is a session where I hope I can have about a quick panel, a short question and answer session right now, because we are at the end of our conference. But what is more important, I want to give a little bit of a scenario here. We have Dr. Faridah that talks about the whole research about what it takes for the halal ecosystem to have a better integration, right? Because everybody is in its own world of how you see the halal community is going and how the halal process is being developed and how people lived with the fact that they have already got their halal certification, how they move on to the next level, right? Now, we also have Dr. Billy here, who has been involved in the humanitarian social enterprise that helps the people to go beyond than just product. It's about giving people a livelihood, people giving an economy for people to brand themselves as the people who want to save the earth, the people who are bringing about the true meaning about what it takes for us to come down to a reality regarding how to bring in the true meaning of the SDGs. And we have Dr. Ziad to talk about how successful entrepreneurs has able to leverage going global, because there is technology, there is the way on how to look at the community development with the latest branding on how it makes the movement of the product goes into and penetrate into the global community. Now, the question is, I'm going to go one by one. I want it will be a one question session for each panel. So the first question here, Dr. Faridah, I want to bring out the fact that when there are so many commissions, there are so many people, scholars, and so on, that understood the meaning of halal. And people have been defining the meaning of halal in the correct way and using the phrases of the Al-Quran. Yeah? And we know that the true understanding is to bring out the true value of the business. Whether you're in the food business, whether you're in the production business of delivering something good to the community, and where you are, if it's involved in animals, so you got to have the proper hygienic way to handle. So it's the consumer's what I call customer that it's at the end of the day is to deliver something good for them. Now, I just want to give you an example about the Japanese. The Japanese, they are very good at giving values, and they are the one who understood the true meaning of halal, because at the end of the day, it's about the consumer, bringing back the value to the consumer. We, as the project manager of that particular product, is to ensure whatever competency that you have is to deliver that value. It's the value of what the meaning of halal is, not so much as to go on the certification, and yet the community cannot embrace the true meaning of why you're having this. So, Dr. Faridah, just give me your 3 minutes comments on this.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Norsaadah. I would like to pick up what you mentioned just now about the Japanese, which is very interesting, Dr. No. Number one, I'm sure you have come across this passing remark like the Japanese are even more Islamic than the Muslims are, So what I'm trying to stress over here is that it is their culture, it is a guideline that they have been practicing since young, since their forefathers. And in halal, I feel that the halal guidelines itself actually, in particular, that requires all the products to be halal certified and must be produced in a hygiene and humane environment is a key, or I would say it is the essence of all this halal business. So we talk about ethical consumerism that also strictly emphasizes the importance of hygiene in the production and manufacturing process. So all along that when we talk about certification just now, we are actually emphasizing on the processed food. So without the processed food, I think we are much safer, you know, like in those days. So coming back to all these issues of our conference on ethics, I would say it is important. It is essential for beneficial Muslim to develop the beneficial Muslim conduct and also character as commanded in our religion. And the reason why it is significant is that actually it is ethics that influence economics and not vice versa, you know, because we're talking about business. It is our ethical practices, good or bad or right or wrong, that influence our economics or our business. So I think these are the things that our Muslims should recognize. Their like what you mentioned just now, when they are wealthy, they are greedy. So they should recognize that wealth, their earnings, and their material goods are actually not theirs. It is property of God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and humans are merely his trustees. So this is actually the argument that is actually the climate of many of Islamic philosophy and scholars. You know, you can discuss until, you know, the cows call, you know, till the cows come home. But actually, whatever that we do, we have to come back to our principles. So in business ethics, in the perspective of Islamic economics, must be emphasized from the very beginning. So I think that may have taken 3 minutes, Dr. Noor. I'm not too sure. All back to
Thank you
you,
so
Dr.
much.
Noor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Faridah.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that a lot of the understanding about learning about a subject matter is to embrace it,
Agree.
right? To embrace it, and of course, to contribute back, right? Now,
Very true.
this is what we want to know, that when we talk about projects, right? Now, many people, I know a lot of people who are selling products, they start to sell halal products as a product. But
Agree.
when we talk about project, it's bigger than a product. Because in a project, there is product, process, people, planet, prosperity.
Yep.
Now, that under the component of sustainability, it brings a much more bigger player to understand the beneficiary of the product itself, right? So here, Dr. Billy, I just want to share with you, all right, or ask you the fact that you have been involved involved in projects where you bring in the community, right? Whether you bring in a product coming from Luzon University, all right, from Philippines, and now you're working with the community of the disabled group, right? And you also have yourself being the sustainable leader to talk about the true meaning of the economy, the social impact, and the economic impact. Now, this is what I meant. Once people have got everything inside their, ingredients or what they believe they have on their plate, but focusing on one project at a time with that true essence of that, what they call Halal Thayyiban concept of the totality of bringing the value, not just one value, not just the product value, the totality of the true values. So how do you find your smart farmability has able to contribute that? Just give you a word of 3 minutes of words of advice. Muted. Open up. Dr. Billy, open up. You're muted.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah, number one, we are very, the first part of our struggle was we go for accreditation. I mean, who endorses us that we are farming ethically, making safe and nutritious food accessible to all economic background. So we put ourselves out there. So happened my school alumni nominated me for the Star Golden Heart Award and the Yayasan Gamuda Inspiration Award. So it's a whole process. During the pandemic, there are, I think, 500 over, 600 over nomination. So the good news is that we emerged the winner, the number one, then the one pick. So they send their representative here and interview us how we do our process how ethical is our farming methods. And to my surprise, we have all the elements, but we just do not know how to tell the story. So now, of course, with Dr. Noor on board, our what we have been practicing now become our livelihood, because there's a framework that all that we have been practicing for ethical farming, bringing safe and nutritious food, is not just highly processed, it's ultra processed now. It's ultra processed in our food. We are going nowhere. And now we need to widen the genetic base of what we eat in our food chain, because all are very narrow now, based on the GMO. So we have our own biodiversity. The Orang Asli, or the indigenous people are showing us how to use some of these herbs that we have, now making it into household, feeding them, elevating into their daily food, like research they've done, like daun gado, ulam raja. All these are anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory. And once the soil is fixed, it just regenerates. And we have Professor Dr. G.P. Dorisami, who is our senior legal advisor, consultant, is a qualified Sharia lawyer of International Islamic University. He advocates on Halal and Sharia compliance at all times. And our WHD founder chairman is Honorary Dr. Abdul Basit Said, based at London, UK, who is actively promoting PWD smart farmability at the global level. And as you can see, I have this. This is by the late Queen Elizabeth II. I'm one of the 8 awardees nominated by a Muslim NGO in London. Can you imagine? So we are not alone in this. They are remnants, okay, that only God in His right time connect us and make it much clearer that people want pure, real food. And the only way halal will pops up, Sharia will pops up. No longer in perception of religion, or it is, people want it. People want it. It's a branding that aligns with Muslim choice. Oh, I want the Muslim choice because it's traceable. 100% of our input must be traceable. So when I challenge agriculture farmers, okay, you say you're organic. I know there's no organic in this country unless you've got a greenhouse. And all our greenhouse in this country are not greenhouse. If there's a real greenhouse, it must be a double wall. And rats and rodents cannot go in. All our greenhouses in Malaysia, all the rodents can go in one. Okay, and what happened is that we don't call it greenhouse, we call it rain shelter. Okay, I give them a new term call it rain shelter. And environment toxin is not talked about. All right, and the worst is this: we are addressing mosquitoes, Aedes mosquito, and the municipal comes once or twice a week. And what are they fogging? They are fogging diesel that will imbalance all your garden farming at home. And so it's all counterintuitive at this moment. But again, I want to repeat, in this crisis, that's where the disabled community can shine and bring to the table, you can still access safe and nutritious food from our community, because we want of our advocacy of ethical farming, making safe, nutritious food accessible to all economic background. So input costs will spring up the prices. For example, now fish. You want fish, but you are buying fish feed, and the fish feed, the base material is soybean. So it's GMO again. So what do? So we go back to plant-based. Our fish is vegan, by the way. Our fish is vegan. They're eating daun gado, they're eating ulam raja. There's a way to trick them to eat. Because why? We are no longer what we eat. We are what our food is eating. If your fish is eating antibiotic and hormone, you are downing it. You are downing it. And the good fish, is all export. And we are importing injected with chemical fishes now because our money has shrunk and we cannot buy quality food. And we are paying higher for lower quality food and feeding our citizens. And we are, you know, our importation bill. All right. So, and 3 years, because all the agriculture ministry are working in silo. All right. So we will never address the food security issue because all working in silo. Okay. And our policy is still chemical farming. So no point debating over this. We just feed the poor, empower them to continuously feed themselves. Therefore, we are decentralizing our agri-innovation that firstly, their family can survive, and we are transforming their life. They're eating healthier without being a farmer, and it's unrefrigerated, you know, and this is how we have multiple proof of concept to address these challenging issues. But if you give equal opportunity to the disabled community, we can still contribute to nation building. Thank you very much.
So Billy, you are an encyclopedia of regenerative learning. I know there's a lot of words and jargon words that you use because you are the encyclopedia. All right. So there's a lot of things that that I know that you do is because you have divided what I call undividedly bring out a lot of your talent, your interest, your passion, and everything that you know about giving back. So giving back is something that what makes you what you are right now. No one will ever award anyone just because of a halal certification. It's nothing. Anyone who wants to give you an award because you are giving back a lot of things to the community which no one is doing. So that's why even the Queen Elizabeth is the late Queen Elizabeth is giving you and all the community. And I know that is what makes you different from the rest. All right. Not about you being talented as having the skill of doing what you want to do, but more than that, right? So I have Dr. Alvina trying to raise a hand. But before Alvina, before I let you open, I will ask the permission of the organizer to extend this panel discussion because I know we haven't bring out another speaker to answer one of my very important questions for this panel. Yeah. So hang on to that. One of the most important questions which I want to ask Dr. what I call Ziad is this. You know, you talk about the globalization. You talk about the penetration of where people are following up the lifestyle of many people. Now, halal and lifestyle go all along together. All right, it is not something that it doesn't bring the togetherness. It's like the risk management is in the halal. If you manage the risk, you got to get the value management of it. That's why halal bloom because of the values. Once you manage the risk, so risk management and value management is what makes the product, whether you call it the brand, whether you call it the what I call the strategy of going to globalization, is because this has been taken into consideration in a very long term. That's why I call it sustainable way on how you bring the halal positioning with the lifestyle. Now, my question is, how do you find the entrepreneurs today? Well, the fact that, yes, they have technology. Yes, they know how to reach the global market. They have all the international payment gateway. But the true meaning of what we want to talk about today is the ethical practices of doing business, even though you are in a globalization. All right. Now, how do you help to make sure entrepreneurship and values is hand in hand, bringing back the balances of what is missing right now in the whole world, globalization, as people are creating imbalances, be it for social imbalances, the planet imbalances, and the economic imbalances. How does one should behave? So I let you answer this question.
Thank you, Doctor, for very good and very important question. For me, I always focus on this, the gap. I consider this one gap. In order to maintain, or in order to be sure that our product that we consume either food or non-food products, as well as services, the main weapon that I can fight the people who against this one, I mean, against the honesty, against the quality, against the value, is the awareness of the customers. If we have high awareness customers, so they will be the best auditors for the products. The government cannot provide auditors for all the country, all around the country. They cannot monitor all restaurants. They cannot monitor all cosmetics factories. But the customers, the consumers, they can do this one. How can we enable them to be a good auditor? We should improve their awareness. Once we found, if you look to any country, if the level of education is high in a specific country, definitely you will find majority of their materials with high quality, because the people who monitor the product have good awareness about when they want to purchase $1, they want $1, I mean, or a few dollars, they want to get at the same balance of this $3 or $4, the quality should align with this $4. They cannot pay $4 and then they will get material which is cost $1. So the most important thing is the awareness of the people, and also the support of the government. The government have also one of the main role, which is to improve the awareness of the people. Yani I can force the customers indirectly. I can force them to get extra awareness, to get more awareness. Many procedures, bulletins, media, or when we establish these halal centers. Now, if you look to Brunei, I am now in Brunei 6 years. I am in my seventh year here in Brunei. When I talk with the Bruneian, when I do shopping, when I do anything, I found that the Bruneian now have good awareness because we already penetrate many students. You know, Brunei is a small country and small citizen. The first batch of our bachelor degree was 84. 84 students. When you penetrate them in the society, there should be significant impact on improving the awareness. I always told the students, don't keep your knowledge in this box. Allah will punish you. If you want to make zakat for your money, you need to pay money. There is a specific cost for every 1 million, mathalan, this one. If you want to make zakat for your knowledge, share this knowledge with the people. So Allah will upload extra 10 times of the thing that, or the knowledge that you get. So the main factor is how to improve the awareness. When Brunei want to be, Negara Brunei Darussalam want to be a global halal hub in 2035, so the wisdom of His Majesty recognized that he should come out, Brunei should come out with halal center, because he need to share or to spread the knowledge, spread the awareness. Then it will be easily for the country to catch this or to achieve this objective. This is in my point of view.
Thank you, Dr. Ziad. Very relevant, right?
Yeah.
The community,
thank you very much.
The community must itself assess, assess the quality of it. So I do agree in the sense that when everyone will have different sets of ingredients on how they believe they want to develop their product. But when example of, let's say you have a salad, we call here, you call it roja, and we have different types of roja and salad. But what makes the salad get binded together is the sauce. Now, if the sauce is not good enough, people won't come and repeatedly buy from you because it's only a one-time sauce. Now, halal is like that. It's a sauce. If the sauce is what you're supposed to say as the true value of binding everything together, people will come back to you because you have the right sauce to blend everything. But if that is not given the understanding about whether the sauce is halal to blind everything, and it's only to go for the greediness, to go for the selfishness, to go for your own personal purpose and not for the humanitarian and not for the ecosystem, therefore the sauce will not play its role. The halal meaning will not play its role. right? So I think the most important element is that all of the great speakers here today touches a lot of things about what is the true meaning of halal in its own context. Everybody is passionate about the work, passionate about the activity that you do and the knowledge that you have. You're
Dr. Faridah,
rightly
sorry.
saying,
Yeah.
yeah, you're rightly saying whatever you
Yeah,
acquire in
yeah.
knowledge is a gift from Allah. If you contribute it back and share it back with the community get enhances through your sedekah of knowledge, which is very true in what it is that we want to do. Halal is not just a scholarly, what I call qualification. It is a knowledge of the community. So if
No.
the community get that knowledge, we don't need even a certification because
No.
the certification is endorsed by the society. But if people don't understand the meaning of halal, that's why you need a certification. That's why you need the community to assess, to bring you that the true meaning of halal, because there are a lot of people who confuse it. But if everyone in one element bring out the meaning of halal, it doesn't need any more endorsement. They don't need any more regulation because it is already your lifestyle to assess quality that what we are talking about, right? So I know the Alvina's hand is still up there, and I know that she is probably desperate to ask a question, and I can only allow one question, regardless of to whom the question is to go to. So, Alvina, can you open up yourself, and I give you the rights to have a question right now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr.
Waalaikumsalam.
Faridah, as moderator. My question actually goes to, I'm from Indonesia, from Halal Inspection Body Muhammadiyah. So my question actually goes to Dr. Faridah. As we know, as Muslim, halal is our need, yeah. Even though this halal become universal, but for us Muslim, as the needs, and also we know the halal, the haram thing is zero tolerance for the halal food. The issue that I will ask this about the traceability, yeah. I mean, for me, that often involved with the micro food business operator, even the ultra micro, yeah. So to have the traceability, to have trace back of the material that they use, or to trace forward the product that they send, I think is still a big challenge, especially here in Indonesia. And then we now, this year, in this October, we will have the halal as mandate. Yeah, this we call this WHO, but not World Health Organization, but Wajib Halal October. Yeah, so I need your comment on this issue regarding the traceability. If you for the implementation in the micro enterprises. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Alvina, Ibu Alvina. Actually, traceability is meant for all. And of course, normally at the moment, especially in Malaysia, the big companies, the multinational companies and big companies are the ones who adopt it because they acquire or they adopt the system, the application, like QR code and all that I mentioned to you earlier. In order to be able to indicate that code with the product that they are selling. Now, as far as the micro and in Malaysia, we call it small business, small and medium business companies, they should, in fact, start using it in a small scale. Traceability would be good, especially in countries like Indonesia, because we have so many islands, thousands of islands, and when there's a problem, an issue like the meat cartel that happened in Australia, and they trace it back, blaming to Malaysia, when it was not actually the cause is not from Malaysia, because the trading was by many parties, including our neighboring countries. So that's where this hoo-ha came in, and that's where they start blaming the original supplier or even manufacturer. And we do not want that to happen in any business, including small or micro business in Indonesia, because we want to start it right. But I like what Dr. Norsaidatul mentioned much earlier. It's all about lifestyle. It's all about the guideline that we have been brought up from young. And in doing business, we have to do it correctly from the very beginning. You know, if we have greed in our lifestyle, that would kill everything, you know, not only the product, but the image of the company, the image of the owner. And we can't afford that. Okay, the reason why I pick up on Dr. Norsaidatu's example on Japan, because I really admire their lifestyle. I mean, if you visit their country, you'll be surprised on how, you know, they emphasize on punctuality, on timing, on food preparation, not only before production, but even after production, how to decompose it, you know, like what Dr. Billy was mentioning just now on ESG, environmental concern. They even want any producers from another country, like for example, international marketing. For Indonesia, it will be tempeh, selling tempeh in Japan, very expensive, okay? But if the tempeh goes wrong, they'll try to track down which company in Indonesia, even though it's a micro company, what is the cause of it, you know, and why is it not safe to consume, and it is not secure and sustainable in future to do business in Japan. So we do not want that to happen. Even though we are a small company, Ibu Elvina, it affects our name, the name of our country. We cannot afford that to happen. Our product is representing our country. So I'm so happy to hear Indonesia. You're going to start this sometime in August or September? October, right?
So
And
that's why I mentioned this WHO, but not
Wajib
World
Halal.
Health Organization, Wajib Halal October.
Very
Yeah.
good, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah, but
starting it correct, okay? But you need to get all those companies to who are really professing in halal to really you know, internalize it and implement it. I'm sorry
yeah,
to say this, Ibu Elvina, because when I visit Indonesia, it may be true in Jakarta or in the cities, but when I visit the restaurants, and I realized they don't even have the certificate. They are very popular, you know, very good restaurant, very popular, but they don't really, and they question me back. They said, look, all the Muslims are here. They're eating over here, you know, that's not a reason to go to that store,
yeah.
because, but, you know, majority are Muslims who dine or fine over there. But if you are talking about, there must be like what Dr. Billy mentioned, the certification really matters, because it is not a matter of award, but it's a matter of trust, and also you know, obligation on the seller to the buyer, that when we have this halal certification, it is something that we promise you that we are doing it correctly in terms of auditing process of the whole supply chain. So, and if I am the marketer, Ibu Irvina, I would be the testimony as a marketer on the seller side. I'll be the testimony. If the product is halal, then if I use it first, if something is wrong with it, I will take the risk. So I will give that guarantee of halal certification to all consumers after I have gone through that process. That's the promise that I made to my consumers.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank
All
you
the
so much,
best,
ma'am.
Ibu Irina. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in Indonesia, especially, you know, Restoran Padang. Padang.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when this is also big challenge for us, when they said, okay, you want to do certificate, they said, why? We are Muslim. We produce the halal. Why do we need to certify? So I think it's different with the certification, with the there are two different things between certification and also with the halal product assurance, with the halal culture. So for me, for the certification, we have to follow the rule. However, there is no difference. There is no double standard. But for
Agree.
the halal product assurance, so this must be implemented by the producer, of course.
Agree.
Yeah. So this is still big challenge here, even though we will face this wajib halal October
Yeah.
in this year, October. But unfortunately, still have many companies, especially micro, small, not
Right.
micro, small, but micro and ultra micro
Yeah.
food business operators still have no halal cert. This is the
Okay.
problem. This
Okay,
is
I
our
can answer you that question, Arina. Allow me a few more minutes, Dr. No, because this is very important as a closure. Halal is a voluntary to be in a halal business is a voluntary commitment. It is not compulsory, but it is compulsory for consumers, Muslim consumers, to consume halal product. Okay. In Malaysia, we have states. Okay, Dr. No can explain later to you. We have 2 or 4 states or 5 states in Malaysia which have Muslim majority: Kedah, Perlis, Kelantan, Terengganu, and Johor. All right. And in Kelantan and Terengganu, they question, it's just like Aceh in Indonesia. They will question, why do we need this halal certification assurance? Because all of us are Muslims over here. But they forgot that Ibu Irina, it's not about the preparation. It's the raw material that they get the supply from. Are they all halal certified? You know, did they go to the process? Where did they buy the product? We need to trace that to the very origin. Okay, that's one example. Similarly, as in Indonesia, the second example, which is even more ironic and I would consider it's radical. I used to do a research in Saudi Arabia on awareness of halal. And they told us, you don't bring your halal from Malaysia to Saudi, because if you do, even though we know that it's good, you are going if we put your logo in our store, it is like saying that all other products are non-halal. Okay, they fear that. And they only realize it when they send the students to study postgraduate in Malaysia, just like the researchers that I had just now, okay, in my paper. So the students, when the first time they came to Malaysia, the Saudi students, when they first came to Malaysia, they thought that Malaysia, everything is halal, until they realized some of it are fake halal, available. And then only they acquire and they learn what it takes to be in a halal certification and why is it important. And then they came back telling us, I think we have to go back and tell our authorities that we cannot rely at the Al Jabar, what do you call that, port authority to claim all food imported are halal, and we take it for we assume that it is 100% halal when it is not, because you need to do that traceability. And I'm sure in Iraq, Dr. Zaid, it's the same, because people assume if you come from a Muslim country, whether it's from Pakistan or many other countries, everything is halal. When I go to Indonesia, I look at Polynesian people, Melayu, I would assume, oh, everything is halal. Until I went to Bali, I was being informed by those people over there, Ibu, hati-hati ya, bakso ini tidak halal. And I went like, it's okay, I don't take bakso, but my kids do. So, back in Malaysia, we are very particular about that. You can ask Dr. Billy. We are very concerned about it. So we don't play or joke around with this, because you can be out of business within 24 hours. People boycott, people don't buy your product. Within 1 week, some of the owners would like to commit suicide because the bill, they got to pay for the production, cost of production, but business is standstill. They had to change name, they had to change into a new business. So the way you educate Indonesians who are new to this, give them that understanding that yes, it is halal, but only in the preparation. But what about the source of supply that you get for your production in your restaurant? So with that, I think they would understand better, but it takes time. I don't mind doing another research with you, Dr. Ibu Irina, because we did over here in Malaysia, the understanding of halal between Muslim and non-Muslim. For the Muslim, to them, it is a must, compulsory. But for the non-Muslim, they take it as a very good quality standard to be practice and they don't mind consuming it. And I'm sure Dr. Billy has been consuming a lot of halal food from ages in
Yeah.
Malaysia.
Thank you so
So,
much, ladies.
yes,
I know, there is a continuity of discussion. I know
right.
this, but there is always a limit to our panel discussion. Okay,
Yeah, I'm done,
I'm
Dr.
sorry
Noor.
to
Thank
cut
you.
short because
Yeah,
I know that everybody is excited with this topic. This topic is a never-ending story, but bear in mind, I want to take note. Right now, we are not just talking about 3P, not product process profit anymore. Even
yeah,
though you have your halal certification, that doesn't mean that you can make money anymore. Why? Because the economy right now is not about product process profit. It's
yeah.
product process people, planet, prosperity.
Mhm.
Because there is an element of sustainability. Now, the globalization, the global trade are talking about ESG reporting, carbon footprint. If we are still discussing about halal on the halal process and trying to talk about the trustworthiness, about the integrity of the halal process, must remember people are now moving ahead. Yep. And if halal cannot able to catch up with what the global demand when it comes to carbon footprint, when coming talking about the ESG reporting, so let's not make halal dampened by what we say as we are always late in understanding the globalization issue that we are trying to address is just not one issue. Halal may be one for a certain community who doesn't understand, but majority of people understood halal. But we are not talking about just halal itself. We are talking about sustainability. We're going about the global warming. We're talking about the impact of what we believe as the SDG that need to have all the elements of social equality. All these must be integrated in the halal community also, not just by the exercise of looking at only for the main concern of for those who don't know. I'm sure the 80-20 rule handled the 80% of the community who understood halal. If you try to bring your effort into that 20%, you will waste a lot of your time trying to educate them when they are still very, very, what I call too low in terms of economy of scale for you to focus on that. All right. So I hope Dr. Alvina, Dr. Faridah, Dr. Billy, Dr. Ziad, all right? Every one of you and Dr. Dorisami who has been here, Dato. I'm so sorry I'm not able to open up questions to anyone else because every speaker here are so good. They are so great. They are so wonderful. I cannot, I don't want to stop them, but as I say, as a role of moderator, I have to have my own limits to ensure that we all do our justice for this fifth international halal conference. And I hope everyone enjoyed. We can keep continuing about this discussion in another platform because I believe you all are great leaders and we can do many more. This is just the beginning of what we want to transform, the halal, sustainability, and humanity. So with that, once again, I thank Brother Noor from the organizer for allowing me to become the MC and also the moderator. And I hope everyone out there is going to listen to our panel discussion and also to all the presenters. I wish you all the best of luck. Please contact the organizer and the speakers if you feel you want to go for more deeper understanding. With that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and selamat berbuka puasa to all. All right, take care. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you.
Selamat Hari Raya Mak Zahid Batin tu.
Yeah,
Sama-sama.
Mubarak to all.
Sama-sama. Thank you
Raya.
so much.
I hope I
Selamat.
answered your question, Dr. Avina.
Yeah, inshallah we can continue this
Please
discussion.
do. Yeah, keep in
Okay.
touch. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
Prof. Faridah, I promise you, come to our farm. We have acclimatized wasabi to grow in Malaysia.
Wow.
Yeah, wasabi. Thank
Anyway,
you.
congratulations to your great job. Really proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you for the right kind of help.
A lot to learn from you, especially positive on your positiveness in a lot of things.
Thank you.
Yes, we all should get together after
Yes.
Ramadan and learn
Yes.
more.
Yeah.
All right.
Inshallah.
Dr.
Thank you.
Zaid, when are you coming back here to Malaysia? Balik kampung?
Actually, Maybe in June. I have been in Malaysia 11 years.
I know, but you kena balik kampung also. Come back whenever you're free. We go for a
Inshallah.
cuppa, coffee.
Inshallah, inshallah. When I arrive, I will contact you, Prof. Inshallah.
Yeah,
And
okay then.
inshallah.
Right. Okay then. So see you all again, Dr. Billy,
Thank you,
Dr.
everyone.
Evina,
Bye. Take
Dr.
care.
Zaid. Yeah, have a good
Assalamualaikum.
holiday.
Yeah.
Selamat Hari Raya.
Selamat
Yeah.
Hari Raya
And
Ramadan.
also Prof. Datuk, Dr. GP.
Yes.
Okay then. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Jadi ni dah Caesar sawit lah.